Today on Let's Paint, we're going to be painting the Roku idle screen. Let's start painting. Okay, I know this one isn't really a video game per se, but every time I see the Roku idle screen, I think to myself, ooh, this would make a really cool painting. So that's why I decided to paint that this week. I started by painting a yellow to blue gradient, going from yellow to pink to purple and then blue at the top. After I did that, I added some stars to the sky and then a couple clouds just to make it stand out a little bit. Then I started painting the elements that make it the Roku idle screen. Now, obviously I couldn't include everything that's on the idle screen, or the painting would end up way too cluttered, so I chose some of the more iconic things like the Ferris wheel and the volcano. I really wanted to include the robot that's in there too, but after I sketched it multiple times and I just kept erasing and redrawing and erasing and redrawing, and eventually I decided to not include the robot, but just know that I really wanted to. Once I got all the background buildings and stuff filled in, I started painting in the foreground buildings, which I just made generic buildings. This was definitely the most stressful part of this painting for me, just because I had made a little template out of some mask ease for this part, and the paint bled underneath the tape really bad. So I had to go back over a few lines and touch everything up, and in some cases I made the buildings just a little bit taller and wider just to try and hide that. But after I got all that touched up, I was happy with how it looked, so I moved on to the water, which I made purple and pink, and then I added the Titanic ship and a rock to the water. I added some shadows to the ship and the rock, and then added a highlight to the rock itself because the rock and the shadow were pretty much the same color. And then a few little highlights along the water as well, just to make it look more like actual water instead of just a static image. But I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I do wish a little bit of the clock tower, like a part of the building covers up the clock tower a little bit too much in my opinion, but other than that, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Yeah, I think this one turned out really nice. Alright, that's gonna do it for this episode of Let's Paint. Until next time, keep being creative.